You can also hit us up on Patreon, which there's information for that someplace in this, but I'm going off script. And now that we're done with that housekeeping, we have some other housekeeping that we're going to lead off the show with. And this one is a little bit sad, but Nick's last show with us will be next week. We kind of teased that we had a big announcement on Twitter, but he's decided to take some steps to better his life. He's back to school. He's busy with some other things, and just life comes first. So
yep.
He'll not be with us every week. He's still going to be a feverish supporter. I couldn't think of my words there of what we do here. He may pop in for a guest spot here and there. He's obviously welcome back anytime, but he's done more for us behind the scenes than I think a lot of people realize, from getting the website stood up, which we still never actually stood up. The first order of T-shirts, covering all the hosting costs and everything. After I moved to St. Louis, he took over literally everything to do with this show.
He's the main person you talk to on Twitter, and I apologize that we haven't been able to keep up with that. Hopper and I.
So he will be missed. Now, that being said,
he will not be missed. Hashtag Team 4-Star. For those of you who like to watch Nuzlocke.
Dan and I will continue to produce content. You're going to be seeing a little bit different of a schedule. We're going to be doing one a week all the way up until the season instead of 2 weeks, just to better fit Dan's schedule. There's a lot of things that he couldn't necessarily attend, and with there only being 2 of us, we can't, obviously, if he's missing, we can't roll with just 2 people anymore. So when we get into season, it'll be just 2 a weeks, but more on that as it rolls on. You're still going to get the same coverage from us, though. You're still going to get your rookie deep dives. You're still going to get your division previews, everything you've come to know. So, Nick, anything you would like to say?
I am sad to be leaving, but I wasn't able to put the type of time and energy into this anymore that I wanted to kind of meet my own expectations, so I felt it was time I at least step away. I want to finish school. I just started a brand new job, and just all of that is kind of distracting my time from this. And it was a lot of time, energy, and resources I poured into this. And if I'm not going to be doing that same level of commitment, I just don't want to do it anymore. Mm-hmm. So just kind of meeting my own high expectations or not doing it at all type thing. It's kind of how I got into fantasy football in the first place.
Oh, trust me, I know.
Yep.
Is I went from knowing nothing to being pretty good at it in a hurry, just because
he went from drafting Rob Gronkowski in 2012. It was not Gronk. It was Michael Vick. Right?
It was Vick and Gronk were my first 2 picks in my first ever fantasy draft.
And he drafted C.J. Spiller the year that he was actually productive.
His only good year, I drafted Spiller in the 8th round, and ended up leading the league in points and took 3rd in my first ever league, and I've been hooked ever since. And that's why we got here. I'm going to miss you guys. I'll probably still be on for occasional guest spot when you guys have a topic that you really want a third person on.
I got a honeymoon in October you're going to have to fill in for for a week.
We'll see. The fall is the real reason why I decided I didn't want to continue on into season 3, though, which they are starting season 3 and starting the rookie stuff here in just over 2 weeks from now.
Yep.
So do be on the lookout for that. But once you start getting into the fall, with me still in classes, I'm like, I don't know how I could do classes and be taking, I think I'm going to be doing a calculus and a composition class in the fall. Pair that with watching every single game, doing 3 episodes a week. I'm like, I can't just keep up with that.
And for those that don't realize it, off season, we scale back episodes, but we're watching just hours upon hours of film, doing all sorts of notes and all sorts of positional deep dives and statistical analysis, and in season, if it's a day we're not recording, we're prepping for whatever the next show is, and it's essentially like having more than a part-time job.
It's a full-time job. No, we love it, but it does take a toll, and it's not just us, it's the whole community at times. Mm-hmm. Where it's people have lives beyond the show, and you have to take care of yourself first, be able to give that.
And everyone in the industry we've been involved with, they put a lot of energy into this. Very little of them are making any money, and if they are, it's not a lot.
Yep. It's one misconception, I think, coming into this is that there's money to be had in the podcast game, and not a ton of it, but we do it for the love of it, but at the same time, we support Nick in what he's going to do and his decision. We're going to miss him. Dan and I will continue to bring you content. It'll still be quality content, slightly less frequently. Still weekly,
yeah.
But more on that to come. So You got one more week of us in this current format after this week. You still got a full episode to get through this week with us. So let's go ahead and get that rolling. Let's get to a beer preview.
It's been a while since we've had to do cue transitions, and I think this is the first time ever from this way.
It is. It's usually the other way around. So for those not watching on YouTube, Nick is actually running the technology and I am hosting. And before I moved, it was the opposite way. Nick would host and I would run the technology. So I don't know why we decided to flip seats today. Probably because I wrote the script. But
Yeah, because
Probably.
you wrote the script, and you're going to be doing
I'm
this
gonna be
full time.
hosting.
So
Here we are.
Anyway, Dan lost the notes on this beer. It was
Yes, I lost notes.
sent by a listener, Ryan Polson. So thank you to him for that. By the way, you guys can send us beer whenever you want. He actually sent us a homebrew, I believe.
Yes, this is his beer.
It said PBH on the lid. We take that to mean peanut butter Hefeweizen. It tastes like a peanut butter Hefeweizen. So we'll give you a full review on it as we get halfway through the episode. But thank you very much, Ryan, for sending that in. We do certainly appreciate that. And
we're affectionately calling it Fat Elvis.
Fat Elvis.
So if that was not your name for the beer, Ryan, you should consider it.
It should be, 'cause that's what it tastes like. Elvis brewed a beer. It's great.
But more on that later.
More later. Let's get into the news. So I actually rewrote this segment because I went through it and I had like 30 different lines, and then I just broke it up because half of them were signings, releases, and tenders. So I'm going to read off the list of signings. You guys just stop me when we want to talk about something.
Perfect.
Running back Carlos Hyde signed a 1-year, $3 million deal with the Chiefs after being released by the Jaguars.
This one we can talk about. I like this move as a Damian Williams owner because I don't think it threatens his job. It does cap its upside a bit, as Nick and I discussed while I was moving yesterday. But it shouldn't completely kill it. I think it could also have the Chiefs maybe not invest a higher draft pick on a running back. So I like this move for it.
Yeah. They bring in a guy here who can carry the workload. He's not a dynamic pass catcher, but at the very least, this should be the end of their moves at running back. I'd be surprised if they draft somebody. I wouldn't be like, starstruck or super surprised or anything, but I am at the opinion they're probably done with the running back position and moving on to other stuff here, and this is a way of getting a stopgap until they find a more permanent option, maybe in the 2020 draft.
Yeah.
Does Carlos Hyde have value?
Yeah. It depends how many touches, but this is an offense you can get a lot of value in. We saw a lot of Damian Williams in the red zone in both the passing game and the running game. It depends how they divvy out the workload.
I mean, at minimum, he's a handcuff on a top 3 offense in the NFL. That is value.
That's value.
Yeah.
Agreed. Tight end Dwayne Allen signed with the Dolphins, 2 years, $7 million.
Mostly as a blocker. He only caught 10 passes in 2 years for the Patriots.
He was an okay pass catcher with Indianapolis before that, but they've got Gesicki going into year 2 also. He would like to see take a step up, and some questions about Tannehill's future. So I don't know that you can invest a ton in Dwayne Allen.
I don't know that you can invest in any Dolphins, period.
No, good point. More on that later. Running back DJ Foster re-signed with Arizona, 1-year deal. No financial details.
I mean, at best, he's the RB3. I'm not really that concerned.
Nope.
Okay. Little defensive adjustment here. Eric Weddle, safety, signed with the Rams, 2 years, $10.5 million after Baltimore released him.
This makes me so sad.
He's a fantastic.
But I love Eric Weddle. So
he's a fantastic coverage safety, but his tackle ratings have been just plummeting per PFF lately. So that's going to be something where if he has to come and stop some runs, he'll be in difficulty. But if they're strictly using him for pass purposes, he should excel in that role.
He's likely there to replace LaMarcus Joyner.
That's what I was going to say. Is he's there to replace LaMarcus Joyner, who's on his way out. Broncos re-signed wide receiver Tim Patrick to a 1-year deal worth $570,000. Patrick flashed a little bit on a wide receiver core that really is looking for people to step up. Obviously, the talented Cortland Sutton's there, but Emmanuel Sanders being hurt. You've got the talented Deshaun Hamilton, but nobody really proven there.
No, and Sanders may not be able to suit up and play this next year. He's basically kept on the team just because he had injury guarantees. So they're going to be an interesting spot to see if they sign anybody or draft anybody. But otherwise, Patrick's probably your de facto wide receiver 3 next year.
Yeah.
I agree. The Raiders re-signed kicker Daniel Carlson to a 1-year deal with $570,000.
Somehow he was good there.
Congrats to Carlson. I wish he would have been better with the Vikings.
Yep.
Same. Kicker news matters. I left the punter and the long snapper news out, though.
That's good.
I appreciate
we didn't go
that.
full for the brand. To the Jets, 3 under-the-radar signings here from rookies that we'd watched recently. Deontay Burnett re-signed for 1 year, $570,000, is a depth option. If anything, it just says by the Jets not letting him walk, they wanted to see a little bit more of him.
Yeah, they want to get him through a second training camp.
Yep. And he had a good game, I think. He looked all right on tape. I mean, he's not Juju, but he looked okay.
Yeah, he catches anything that comes his way. That's his big. He's a tiny body though,
And he's not an athlete.
He's not an athlete at all.
Nope. D'Angelo Henderson re-signed with the Jets 1 year. No details on that.
I want him to just do something because he was so much fun to watch in college, but it is not translated to the NFL yet.
Right. I want to see him do something in training camp because they have a wide open running back spot right now.
Right now, yeah.
And Bilal Powell's on his way out of town, so they're going to be looking for some form of 1-2.
Yeah, with pitchforks behind him.
Right. Davis Webb, 1 year, $645,000. With Josh McCown being a free agent, you think he's just backing up Darnold? Or
He'll be the free practice squad type guy.
Oh yeah.
Giants re-signed Aldrick Rosas 1 year. No details on that. So he's been good the last 2 years.
Yeah.
If I could trust the Giants' offense, I would be way more interested in owning Rosas in fantasy. That's the main issue, though, is the Giants could just lay an egg and give you 0.
Yep. And finally, Baltimore keeps the market cornered on tight ends. They signed Nick Boyle to a 3-year deal worth $18 million.
All right, so this seems a lot worse from the fantasy community, and they're right. But Nick Boyle is a quality blocking tight end. He's a dual threat tight end, even though he doesn't catch a lot of passes, but he does what the Ravens need him to do and want them to do. So
it only slightly hurts whoever ends up being the primary guy between Hurst and Andrews.
Yeah.
It's going to be Andrews.
Andrews.
Yeah, it's definitely Andrews. Hurst can't block to save his life. It's a team that's going to rely heavily on the run, so it makes sense. And I wouldn't freak out too much if you're a Mark Andrews owner.
No.
There's not a quarterback there that can throw a football anyway. All right, releases. Mike Glennon, Arizona, gone.
Yeah, don't need him when you're going to have Rosen as your backup here in a few weeks.
Right.
Oh my God.
Danny Amendola, Miami.
Not shocked.
He'll probably land on a team looking for a veteran.
Back to the Patriots.
Yeah,
probably. T.J. Lang, guard out of Detroit.
He might retire.
If he doesn't retire, he's going to be an upgrade to somebody's interior line.
Oh yeah.
Jacksonville released their entire defense. Or at least Malik Jackson, Tashawn Gibson, and Carson Tinker. They were in cap purgatory. So
yeah,
not surprised.
And then Jamie Collins in Cleveland, just some nice defensive pieces there to keep an eye on.
Yeah, and Jacksonville may still release more people once free agency actually starts here too. So expect
Bortles,
Jacksonville to be a very fluid situation.
Yep.
All right. And contract tenders. Ricky Seals-Jones was tendered a contract by the Cardinals.
Yep, I believe it was original round because he was UDFA, right?
Yep.
So it functions as a 7th, I think.
No draft compensation. What I was reading on Roto World if he gets picked up. So
okay, so it's just they get a contract and they get first right of refusal.
Yep.
Okay,
that's what it is. So good for him. I
mean,
guess.
They shouldn't be crying if they end up letting him go.
No. Rashard Higgins, wide receiver at Cleveland, 5th round tender, which is his original round.
He flashed a little bit this last year as the 3. It'll be interesting to see if he keeps that.
Yep. Raheem Mostert, running back San Francisco. He flashed a little bit in his limited work before he broke his arm. Original round tender, which was a UDFA.
He's primarily there to be a special teams
There's a
guy,
lot of bodies there right now that are healthy-ish.
The most interesting one, Corey Coleman was given an original round tender by the Giants, which is a first round.
Yeah,
so he's not going anywhere.
No, he's staying in New York.
They really wanted to get one more year out of him because he did flash a little bit in the last couple games of the season, and they seem to think that they might have something here. So you might be looking at your wide receiver 3 going into 2019 there in New York.
It gives them a pretty formidable receiving core. I will give them that.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Jalen Richard in Oakland, 2nd round tender. He's really the only running back left.
He's not
there
either.
Outside of Chris Warren.
Yeah, it's him, Chris Warren, and
Nobody.
Dwayne or DeAndre Washington.
DeAndre Washington?
Yeah, DeAndre.
Yeah,
I think.
maybe.
Pittsburgh, they're blocking tight end Xavier Grimble, original round, which was a UDFA.
Yep.
And then an interesting non-tender slot corner brand, Body Calhoun, who was very good for Cleveland the last 2 seasons.
If he gets to the free agent market, he's going to get paid.
Yep.
Oh yeah,
I agree. And there are teams that need a slot corner.
a lot.
All right, on to the trade front. Nothing big happened here at all.
Nope, not at all.
All right, New England acquired defensive lineman Michael Bennett in 2027 from the Eagles for a 2025th round pick.
I feel like he'll fit in.
He'll be fine. It sounds like his brother wants to come back now.
He does.
Yeah,
And
have fun with that.
the Eagles just desperately needed to free up the cap space, and they were happy to get a 5th-round pick to dump
Oh
cap.
shit.
Arizona acquired injured and suspended often tackle Marcus Gilbert from Pittsburgh for a 6th-round pick, which they needed line help.
Hey, 6th-round pick for a veteran offensive lineman, you are taking that all day if you're the Cardinals. Their offensive
Especially if
line
they
was
stay healthy.
horseshit.
It's an improvement, and that's mostly here for one. If they don't draft Kyler Murray, that's good for Rosen, but it's better for David Johnson than anything.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Especially
Well, and just the offense in general, so it can hopefully have a pulse this year.
Yep. The Giants started upgrading the other side of their offensive line. They acquired Cleveland acquired defensive end Olivier Vernon, a 2019 4th from the Giants, for Kevin Zietler and a 2019 5th. So that's a big upgrade at right guard for the Giants.
I love this move for both teams.
I do too. Cleveland has the cap room to pay Vernon. It gets them an established pass rusher, and they get a slight pick upgrade. And then on the flip side, they have their future starter behind Zeitler already in play, so they don't lose anything by getting rid of him. They get out of an expensive contract to get to switch that slot to a rookie one, and they had to give up a 5th for it. So both sides, I think this is showing what they're trying to do. But you can see that the Giants are unwinding all those crazy free agent contracts that they gave out a few years ago.
Yeah, the Giants are a right tackle away from having a decent offensive line.
And that would be, outside of Eli, their entire offense would be set.
Yes, exactly. So you hope that they go draft somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Washington acquired quarterback Case Keenum and a 2027th round pick from Denver for a 2026 rounder. This was on the wall when Denver traded for Flacco.
Yeah. Speaking of a salary cap dump.
Yeah, no shit.
So do you think that Keenum is the starter in Washington? Is he competing with McCoy? Do they do something else here?
I think he will be able to beat out McCoy. I think they may try to draft somebody if somebody's available, because they're up against the wall right now.
I think they're going to draft somebody in the 1st round.
But
they should.
They should.
That Alex Smith trade and just everything has gone wrong for them. They're in real bad shape.
They have a lot of needs.
If I was a Washington fan, you may just want to black out about the next 2 seasons.
Yep. And hope that they do some form of a formidable rebuild.
Mm-hmm.
And last, and this one really doesn't matter all that much, Oakland acquired wide receiver Antonio Brown from the Steelers for a 3rd and a 5th round pick.
And then completely restructured his deal.
Completely restructured his deal. They gave him more money. Same amount of years, but $30.25 million guaranteed.
And $50 million total, I believe.
$50 million total, and I still have no idea what Oakland is doing.
Nope.
Yeah, let's trade our 25-year-old offensive, like our best offensive weapon.
Yeah.
So they traded Cooper, a 3rd and a 5th for a 1st and Antonio Brown, and paid a fuck ton of money for Brown.
Yep. Now they have acquired draft picks. So that's good, and you hope that Mike Mayock, in his draft expertise, knows what to do with those picks, because they have gotten a ton of picks, and it does give them a nice veteran piece at the wide receiver position. But you traded a franchise player on defense. You traded a decent wide receiver on offense. You still don't have a quarterback. You have no solution at running back. Your tight end is testing free agency, who was pretty much your offense last year.
You just traded your best offensive lineman.
You traded your best offensive lineman. Your defense is a work in progress. They have a ton of needs, and I don't know what trading picks for a 30-year-old wide receiver does for them.
I mean, this just gives their offense a pulse this year, because if they hadn't traded for Brown, this would have been probably the worst offense in the league next year.
Marcel Aitman was set to be their best wide receiver.
Yeah.
We know how I feel about that.
So this gives this offense at least a little bit of a pulse this year. Maybe they can start developing into something, but I don't see the long-term plan here. This just seems to be like, we don't want to go complete dumpster fire this year, so we're going to make this trade.
But the funny thing is the rumor is coming out that the Steelers may pull this out from under Antonio Brown.
As of right now, this, as far as I know, is going to happen.
I know.
We'll find out more this week.
Yeah.
I know. But I just laughed when I read the highlights of it, because it just makes me laugh.
This is the second craziest week of the year. The draft is the only one that's crazier. lots of shit can happen.
Yeah, buckle up for this upcoming week.
Though I did just get on my Facebook rewind. 4 years ago was the Chip Kelly experience when he went crazy just trading everything. So
oh my God.
we're not quite that crazy.
That was
right
a
now.
great
That was so
that
much
was
fun.
a great day. Just like, what
Right.
the fuck is going on?
All right, options. Alan Hearns, Dallas picked up his 2019 option for some reason.
I believe it's actually a 2-year option, so he's there through 2020 now.
Oh God.
Oh God, it's right.
They get rid of Terrence Williams. You can applaud that move, and now we're stuck with Alan Hearns.
He's going to be the 3. It's fine.
Yep. Carolina picked up the 2019 option on Torrey Smith.
This one is why.
Worth $5 million, no dead cap if they cut him.
Yeah.
So he may still be cut yet, but they picked him up anyway. And then center John Sullivan had his 2019 option declined by the Rays.
He's getting pretty old. He's, 36, I believe?
Yeah.
Back surgeries, back issues. He
He's
looks like
he's
could
reaching the
be.
end here.
He should
probably
just
should retire.
hang up the cleats.
All right. In non-contract news, Vikings running back Rock Thomas is facing charges for fifth-degree possession of a controlled substance.
Marijuana.
It was marijuana after a neighbor complained about the smell. So shame on that neighbor.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, neighbor complained to the landlord. Landlord called the cops. They searched. I believe they found, 10 ounces?
Yeah.
Which is enough for Minnesota to get pissed at you.
So yeah. So he'll probably be facing a suspension, I would assume, because Uncle Roger doesn't mess around.
He'll
with the
probably
marijuana.
get cut
with
and then
the
he'll get
marijuana.
suspended.
Maybe it depends on what the Vikings do. Right now, I guess they re-signed C.J. Ham, but without Murray there, Thomas and Mike.
Well, they're
Boone,
drafting somebody. At
Yeah.
least one person here.
or signing a veteran.
Yep.
Yeah, so it'll probably it's going to be Cook, Murray, and not Murray, Boone,
Boone.
and then probably somebody they draft.
Yeah.
Yeah. John Kuhn is officially retired after 12 seasons in the
And
NFL.
all the running backs ahead of him are now happy.
You two probably just need to go and spin around and cheer in front of the
I
webcam
fucking
right
hate
now.
John Kuhn.
These two rage so hard at John Kuhn.
the 3-touchdown game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when you both just desperately wanted a Kobe Fleener touchdown.
And Mark Ingram.
and Mark Ingram. And it was all John Kuhn.
All John motherfucking Kuhn.
Was probably the highlight of watching football with you guys
We'll
over
miss-
2 years.
Probably. We'll miss those memories. Raiders reached a deal to play this season in Oakland with a team option for 2020, just in case, I guess, Vegas isn't done.
It better be done.
Oh, let's hope so.
They need to get the hell out of Oakland.
And I guess I can't have this one here anymore, but in red text, in italics, and bold,
Hey, with the rumors that the Steelers may fuck this shit up, it's still annoying.
this Antonio Brown shit is really annoying.
I think they want to do this. I really do.
All right, let's get into some free agent prep.
Free agent frenzy.
The end of it, just like okay, never mind. We're not done yet.
It's like end of Return of the King.
I was just about to say that.
All right, so we're
good
going to go and
times.
get you guys prepped for free agency, which officially, I believe, starts on the 13th,
Thursday.
Thursday.
Yeah, tampering period
I think,
starts
Tomorrow.
tomorrow. So when you're
Yes.
listening to this, tampering period will open that day. And then,
That's when all the fun rumors jump out about who may sign with whom.
well, and you'll get stuff confirmed before it officially starts, where this person's going.
Who's
here.
gonna get Frank
Right.
Gord?
So who's going to be
Right.
F5 in their keyboard hard tomorrow?
All of us.
I don't have to work tomorrow, so
All of us will
Totally
be
me.
F5ing our keyboards pretty hard. So, first off, to reset salary cap situations, the teams with the most, the teams with the lowest salary cap, Buccaneers, Vikings, Falcons, Chiefs, Saints are their 5 lowest, all under $10 million in available room. This is as of yesterday afternoon.
I expect at least a few of those teams are going to be making some cuts here over the next couple days as tampering
yeah.
period opens.
The Bucks are going to have to. They've got about 1.4 million left. That's why Jacksonville, before they made their series of cuts, was down to like 250,000.
yeah,
Yeah,
it was
and
insane.
the Eagles before they made a couple moves were actually negative.
So, your highest available cap space is the Colts at 101 million, Jets at 93.6, Browns 77.3, Bills 73.3, and the Texans at 68.3. So they have the most spending power. Of those teams, the Bills probably have the most needs overall.
Bills or Jets?
Bills are the Jets.
I expect both those teams to spend a lot of money and give out a lot of dumb contracts because they're very good at doing that.
Yep. All right, let's go ahead and get kicked off with the quarterbacks here. I'm going to read a list of names. If there's anybody you want to talk about, we'll go ahead and talk about them. The 5 most quarterback needy teams that I flagged: Jacksonville, Washington, Arizona, Miami, Baltimore. And that's not
Buffalo.
And again, Baltimore.
kidding.
Yeah, not necessarily Buffalo because
I know.
they've still got their backups under contract. Baltimore, don't take that as an indictment on Lamar Jackson, even though it is. I just think that they need a veteran presence behind him in case he does falter that can step in and start some games if
Definitely.
things go belly up. And they really, like, RG3 is a free agent, Flacco's gone. They just have nobody behind him right now.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so Nick Foles.
Sounds like it's going to be to Jacksonville.
He's going to Jacksonville.
It does sound like he's going to Jacksonville. Bortles get cut because I don't think there's a way they can keep him as a backup.
With how cap tight they are, they have to cut Bortles if they sign another quarterback. That's going to be
Especially
paid
Nick
starter
Foles
money.
is going to be, yeah, exactly.
Tyrod Taylor.
I wouldn't be shocked if Cleveland tries to re-sign him, but otherwise, I wouldn't mind seeing him maybe over in Miami.
Yeah, I think Miami would be a good spot for him, honestly.
I like to see him get a puncher's chance, but I think backup somewhere.
I think he will be also. Unfortunately, he'd be a good
Yeah.
backup for Lamar Jackson.
I was going to say.
but I don't see him going back to Baltimore.
No.
So
As a backup.
Comes full circle.
I think if he's looking,
Yeah.
I think given the depth in the draft, if he's looking for a place to potentially start, Miami is the most likely.
Yeah.
Teddy Bridgewater, I think him in Baltimore makes sense.
I want him to get a chance so bad.
I don't know where he's going to get it. Unless,
Yeah, like,
The other places I could see the Saints re-signing him.
I could too.
and just keep molding him behind Breeze and so we can take over.
But Taysom Hill.
I am so
Fuck
sick of
Taysom
Taysom Hill.
He's
Ryan
the new John Kuhn.
Ryan Fitzpatrick.
I'm hoping he is out of Tampa Bay so Winston doesn't keep getting hurt / benched.
Should be out of Tampa Bay. There's a ton of teams that are in need of backup quarterbacks
Hashtag Fitzwatch.
or people that can step in and start. I mean, you've got teams like Baltimore, Tennessee, Oakland who have quarterbacks that aren't necessarily locked into the job or are locked into the job but haven't necessarily performed. Houston needs a backup.
Tennessee would be a good one just because behind Mariota right now is fucking Gabbert.
Yeah. No, Tennessee makes a lot of sense. Washington, I guess, if they wanted to make it a 3-horse race.
Washington can't afford it, or they shouldn't afford it at least.
No.
That's like maxing out your third credit card.
Yep.
While paying off, while trying to pay off the other ones.
Brock Osweiler.
I don't care.
Don't need me either.
Unless he goes to a new team and plays the Bears this year.
Robert Griffin III, do you see him potentially going back to Baltimore to continue his mentorship?
I wouldn't be
of Lamar
surprised.
Jackson?
They seem to like him.
Yeah, and I don't know where else he tried to land to. He doesn't really fit.
I don't think so. I think his best role is as a player coach to Lamar.
Yeah, same.
I think that's the smartest move they can make. Trevor Siemian.
Wouldn't be shocked if the Vikings re-sign him. They did trade a 6 for him.
You can add them onto the list too if they don't re-sign him because
They do need a backup.
They need a
right?
backup.
They need a
then.
backup. Yep, they do. They're actually towards the bottom. Detroit also is in need of a backup.
But I see them drafting.
Sean Mannion's gone with the Rams, so
Yeah.
they can get him on a cheap deal as a backup for Goff. He'll be a backup someplace though.
Yep.
Tom Savage.
AAF.
AAF, you think he's going there?
I don't know if he's good enough
I
to
don't
play
know.
there.
Houston needs a backup.
He's going to
He
go
knows
back
the
there again.
system.
He knows the system.
He knows the system.
That Jacksonville game to start the 2018 season
That was
or 2017
That was
season
atrocious.
where he
that
got
was
sacked
bad.
8 times in the first half.
10.
10. Yeah, it was bad. Yeah, so it's a really shallow quarterback free agent class. I mean, it's Nick Foles, potentially Tyrod Taylor that could start. Bridgewater, Fitzpatrick both give you plus backups. Trevor Siemian, I guess, could fall into that because he's got experience. He's won some games. But other than that, it's a very, very barren land for quarterbacks, both in free agency and the draft.
Yeah.
Good news is you don't have a ton of teams that obviously need a starter. Most of them have somebody locked in. So whether they're good or not is a different story, but they're there. All right. Onto the running back position. 5 needy teams here. Oakland, who has nobody. We just talked about this. The Jets, who are basically Isaiah Crowell, missing Bilal Powell, and nobody.
Elijah McGuire.
Yeah, it's Crowell, McGuire, and Henderson basically.
Henderson. So they don't have a defined answer. You got Philadelphia, who Josh Adams faltered down the stretch.
Clement
JJ
had a
is
disappointing
gone.
second year.
Sproles was hurt again.
Who may retire?
Yep. Baltimore, and then I had Kansas City on the list. This is before the Hyde signing. So
Yeah.
After Kansas City, you would fall down to Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they should be on this list.
Yep.
Definitely.
So, I'll list these in like series of 5. Amir Abdullah, Buck Allen, Jay Ajayi, C.J. Anderson, Le'Veon Bell.
Well, the first 2 I don't care at all.
They'll land as backups someplace.
They'll be
And-
third.
and there are plenty of teams that need 3rd or 4th running backs.
Yeah, they'll be camp bodies to start. Well, whether or not they make teams, we'll see.
All right, Ajayi is where we start getting a little interesting here. I could see him landing in a spot where maybe he's a 1-2 punch where they have more of a pass catcher to pair with him.
He needs to just be a spellback.
So-
he cannot take on a big role.
How do you feel about Minnesota in the Latavius Murray role if they do decide
I wouldn't
to go
hate
the
that.
veteran
I wouldn't hate
route?
it at all. I just don't want to see him getting a bunch of touches.
The other one I wouldn't mind is if the Bears do go through with their Jordan Howard trade, I wouldn't mind seeing him in Chicago.
I thought about that also. If they do trade Howard, he's a very good 1-2 punch with
Cohen.
Tariq Cohen. And then if Jacksonville decided that they wanted to back up, then
yeah,
He wouldn't be a bad backup to Hyde. They're very similar players.
they are.
I mean to Fournette.
Sorry, did I say
Fournette.
Hyde?
You said
did.
Hyde.
Too much Hyde news.
Too much Hyde.
C.J. Anderson, really, really good with the Rams at the end of the year. I don't know that he gets a spot to start, but there are places I could see him landing. If Ingram walks from New Orleans,
Ajayi, if Ingram walks from New Orleans, would also be an interesting one too. But yeah, Anderson could be interesting there. That would be great for Camaro owners if Anderson is his main competition.
Yeah.
I agree with that. He's still young enough to where the Jets could take another swing and in a shallow running back class, just try to get another guy in there.
Perfect. He's the exact type of guy that they'd overpay.
He is.
He's got overpaid written all over it.
Speaking of overpaid, Le'Veon Bell. Where do we want to see him? Does he get signed? Does he agree to terms, or is he just going to blackball himself out of the league?
Where I want to see him, if I'm an owner, is either going to be Philly, Baltimore, or Oakland.
I want to see him in RPO with everything going his way.
So, but
And a big fuck you to Pittsburgh would be even
I think
better.
of the 3 I mentioned, though, Oakland's the most likely.
Oakland and Jets have the most money to throw at him.
Yeah,
Which
Oakland
is,
and
I
the
think-
Jets do have a ton of cash. I think he makes more sense for Oakland, and not because he makes sense, but because it makes sense for what it looks like they're doing there.
Yeah, it fits their pattern.
I don't think Philadelphia. I think Philadelphia puts themselves right back into cap purgatory if they go do that.
I don't see them just because they have spots that need to, fix and shore up, and they can find some UDFA that can spot start for 3 games. and be
Although he is the
useful.
exact type of player the Jets would pay the asking price for.
Oh,
And plus-
I'm not going to be shocked if we end up hearing that it's like $70 million for Bell here.
I'm
Fucking
not either.
ridiculous.
All right, next LeGarrette Blount, Alfred Blue, Tevin Coleman, Mike Davis.
Don't care about Blunt. Definitely don't care about Blue.
Coleman's
Coleman.
interesting.
I care about Blue because he's not going to be annoying in Houston anymore.
He'll be annoying
I
somewhere else.
Someone else will be annoying
He'll
to
make
Miller.
you feel blue somewhere
Blount
else.
needs to retire after last season.
Yes, he should go straight to the nursing home.
And then just smoke a shit ton of weed.
I don't know where I want to see Coleman go, though.
I mean, popular skill set fits, right? And I don't know that he'll go for it, but again, if Ingram leaves New Orleans,
That was going to be the Saints would be the perfect spot because they have
that's his type of
Yeah,
role.
probably
they can create massive lanes.
probably Saints or Philly would be where I'd want to see him go.
Saints or Philly would be probably the best options. Oakland, if they, I don't know how Gruden feels about Tevin Coleman, but he's kind of got a similar makeup to what Doug Martin in his good years does. So that is also a viable landing
If
spot.
he can
for
land on
me.
a team with a good offensive line,
Yep.
'cause that's where he makes the most of his plays. Is
when he
splash
gets a
plays.
free lane in space.
Yeah,
Mike Davis flashed a little bit when given the chance, but couldn't ever hold on to anything.
I wouldn't be shocked if he's back in Seattle.
Depth piece behind Penny and
Sure.
Carson.
Carson.
yeah.
He makes sense, and he'd be the best pass catcher of the three too.
Yep. Frank Gore, Miami, or bust for him.
I don't know, man. It sounds like he wants to play, so he may find whoever takes him.
Detroit.
San Francisco reunion tour.
Yeah. Just throw him on the back burner
Oh,
there.
Jesus.
Yeah, put him behind.
Because you need more bodies in San
McKinnon and
Francisco.
Burrito.
Detroit is a blunt replacement. Go ring chasing in New England since they just lost. Since Jeremy Hill's the next person on this list.
Oh, shit. He's still a thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Frank Gore to New England would kind of make a little bit of sense. They did it
Yeah.
to Steven Jackson a few years ago.
They
Yeah.
did. Corey Grant.
That's you. You need to analyze this one because I don't care.
Ending up back in Jacksonville would not be the worst thing that could happen. They're going to get him on a discount. He knows the system. He's shown that he can work in the screen game. That would probably be my number one hope for him, is to go back there. If that didn't happen, he gives you another body in a place like Baltimore where he could get outside. They could work him with some blocking at an RPO.
I can see him in Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay would be another.
Oh, your
primary-
Sims replacement?
Charles Sims
Yeah,
replacement.
because he's
They're
a-
also similar types of players.
And he stays healthy-ish. Unlike Sims.
All right, and Jeremy Hill.
I don't want to care.
Back to Cincy as the running back 3.
I don't want to.
Reunion tour.
I don't want to carry it.
I don't want to care because
But yeah, he'll outside of the one fluke year, he's been pretty meh.
Yeah, I don't think we should care.
no.
Next set: Mark Ingram, Marshawn Lynch, Doug Martin.
Lynch and Martin, I don't care about that much. Ingram, Philly or Baltimore?
I think Tampa Bay.
Tampa, I wouldn't mind either.
Or he stays in New Orleans. But I
He
don't
could
know.
take a hometown discount. He's actually talked about it. So
Yeah.
that
He-
could happen too.
Yeah, Tampa. I would love Mark Ingram in Tampa.
Yeah.
Bay.
Me too.
I would absolutely love Mark Ingram in Tampa Bay. Marshawn Lynch, I think he's back in Oakland or done.
Yes.
Doug Martin was okay to where he could land as a change of pace back. Maybe he ends up on a discount deal in some place like Los Angeles chasing a ring. They're not going to have C.J. Anderson again. I mean, you don't want to see it with Malcolm Brown and John Kelly there, but it's better in depth.
We'll end up in like Carolina. Just
Okay.
like it's like backing up some.
They did talk about wanting to decrease McCaffrey's touches.
So, and I think that's what his role is going to be. Is what we saw in Oakland before Lynch got hurt.
Just back up.
Just a backup.
Ty Montgomery, any value to him?
If he lands in a offense that passes a lot, so he's the type of player where I could 100% see the Patriots taking him.
Philly, if they don't re-sign Sproles.
Philly, if they don't re-sign Sproles,
He
Could-
could go to New England, but
or maybe
James White's still there though.
yeah, or maybe to the Chiefs if they want a pass catcher behind Damian.
I think they trust Williams enough, but I'd be intrigued by that.
I think they do. He's another one that could land in Tampa Bay in the Charles Sims role.
Your next pass catching running back
For the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Buccaneers.
Latavius Murray. I know he has
Not him.
value. I know he has value.
He does.
Detroit?
Yeah, Detroit makes sense as a backup to carry on Johnson's kind of similar players. Johnson can't stay healthy. Buffalo is a Marshawn Lynch, or not Marshawn Lynch, LaShawn McCoy backup. Spell guy, goal
Maybe
line.
replacement. At that
With how
point.
McCoy is, I could see Murray just almost fighting in a 50-50 timeshare on that one.
Murray's got the mold to be overpaid by the New York Jets here, though. So
Oh, yeah. He and Crowell are very
they're
similar
so
players.
similar.
Miami would be the other one that makes
Yeah.
a ton of sense. For between the
I
tackles.
like to see him
Banger.
given another chance, though. I
Yep.
like to see it.
Bilal Powell
Should retire.
should retire.
He'll be a third string running
Thank you
back
for finishing
somewhere.
my sentence. Adrian Peterson, speaking of should retire.
He'll hang around until somebody gets hurt, and
He
then he'll
wants
show
to
up.
keep playing. Like he's like, I want to try somewhere. Okay,
More interesting guys. Rod Smith.
this is intriguing because this is his first chance to be out of the Zeke shadow since fucking high school.
I don't know where I want him though.
Miami?
I would like to see him in Tampa Bay just to see him given
Yeah.
a chance.
Him with Drake wouldn't be bad.
If you hear
Miami.
us saying a lot of the same teams, it's because a lot of the same teams
Yeah.
have running backs. Miami,
Philadelphia.
Jacksonville,
Yeah, Jacksonville wouldn't be too bad in
Carolina.
the Yeldon role.
Carolina, if they're serious about reducing McCaffrey's touches.
I can see Smith really picking though. I think Smith wants a chance to shine though.
Chicago, if Jordan Howard goes down,
I don't know that I
or
quite
even
like
if
him in that role.
or even if Jordan Howard doesn't go down, third back over Taylor Mazzell, who was also used a decent amount.
But what about Ryan Null?
What about Ryan Null?
What about Ryan Null?
I'm a 250-pound scat back.
Spencer Ware.
Probably back to Kansas City on a cheap deal.
Makes sense.
Somewhere.
It makes all sorts of sense. Darren Sproles, hopefully retirement. Otherwise,
Yep.
Probably back with Philly.
Probably back to Philly.
that's what I'm thinking is most likely. TJ Yeldon, another guy who's flashed when he's had the chance and looked bad when he's had the chance. It just depends.
If he's cheap, I want him to go to Minnesota. Because he would be a great Latavius Murray replacement. He's a better pass catcher.
That would make a ton of sense in Minnesota.
Again, I think a guy who wants another chance at it. So a team that he could probably compete for the main work share. Philadelphia.
Philly would be a solid spot.
Obviously, the Bucks.
Obviously the Bucks.
Obviously the
We
Bucks.
said the Bucks for everybody.
I know.
At this
Well,
point, I'm
because
pretty sure.
it's actually a juicy spot to land at with that offense being ran by Bruce Arians.
Yeah, no, that's a fair point. Not Jacksonville. He's not going back there.
Oakland, but he's too young.
And just because it's fun, Zach Zitter.
Don't care.
I think he ends up back in Detroit.
Probably.
I think he
He'll
was
get a goal line spot somewhere.
I think he was
He'll get a goal line
everything they
job.
wanted Blunt to be.
Oh, he was better
Yeah.
than Blount. That
Yeah.
didn't take too much last year, though. Blount was awful.
I mean, we were better than Blunt in some of these games.
This is true. I could also fall forward 6 inches. Let's get into a beer,
Beer review.
Beer review.
So I don't know if you guys know this or not, but I'm a certified homebrew judge.
Okay.
And by certified, I mean somebody let me judge a competition one time. First off, I would like to say peanut butter Hefeweizen's not something you see a whole lot of, so plus points for creativity.
Yep.
It was very well executed. I thought that the blend of the peanut butter with the typical banana kind of nutmeg taste that you get from a Hefeweizen was a very, very good combination. Very, very pleasant. Nice light body, but the peanut butter made it feel a little bit heavier than what you would typically get out of a Hefeweizen, which I really like. Carbonation is maybe a little up, but overall I thought that it did a pretty good job also of just kind of, you don't want your carbonation to detract from the flavor.
Yeah, definitely.
So I thought that maybe a little on the high side, but not too bad for a homebrew. Very, very, very good job. I would have scored this one with high marks given my homebrew expertise.
Yep. But yeah, I mean, it tastes very similar to just a peanut butter and banana sandwich,
Which
It's
I
excellent.
fucking love.
Oh yeah, that's fantastic. I would buy this for sure.
I'm almost done. Like, I've had to hold back a little bit.
Yeah, I would have finished this way before we got to running
Yeah.
backs if I had been not pacing myself.
Yeah, I would absolutely buy this. So, very, very good job. We don't do a ton of homebrews on the show. And
This is the first ever.
really,
I'm pretty sure.
I think it would be cool to find more. I know enough people, but
I mean, there's places in town we could.
I know
I've talked with certain peoples about putting some shit together.
I know people.
Yeah.
Also, so
We know people.
we know people
Welcome to Beer
But no,
Fantasy, where
very-
we know people.
from us who have tried. What episode is this?
221, I believe.
We've had 221
Goddamn.
different beers on this episode, and this is definitely one of
On
the
this
better
show.
ones.
We've had 222. We did 2 on the live episode.
Oh yeah, sorry, 223, 2 live episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Year
did
one.
both draft shows.
Oh, I wasn't even counting the draft shows. I was counting the legit live podcast we did.
Balin's.
Oh yeah, at Balin's. There's
Rip
like
Balins.
2 more there. So we've had like 230 beers on this episode.
On the show.
On the show.
On this episode, that explains a lot.
We are fucking drunk.
All right, moving on to wide receivers. So wide receiver teams. There are some very obviously needy teams here. Washington, who's lost Jamison Crowder. They have Doxson and nobody else.
Trey Quinn, please.
Trey-
Thank you.
Sorry.
God.
Trey Quinn, who will break his ribs on the second play of the season.
He's going to make it to the
Um,
season?
I had Oakland on here, but that's still
You
kind
can
of
still
the
leave
case.
Oakland on here.
They maybe just drop a few ranks, but they're still in the top 5.
Yep. Miami, Baltimore, Buffalo. Miami Parker's gone, so Stills and nobody.
Albert Wilson.
Baltimore has Willie Snead and nobody else. Jordan Lasley, I guess.
They have nobody there.
Yeah, Jordan Lasley.
Nobody there.
And we thought Buffalo had it solved for about 6 hours.
Yeah, Buffalo's got Robert Foster and Zay Jones. They're kind of with the Jets, where they've kind of got just a bunch of guys, but nobody that jumps out. Jacksonville's that way also, where there's just a bunch of guys, but they really lack a superstar, some definer. Like D.D. Westbrook isn't going to carry your team. Robert Foster should not be your wide receiver 1.
Yeah, these are guys who should be your 2 or 3, not your 1.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we got a lot of 2s or 3s available.
Perfect.
Danny Amendola, who was released by Miami.
Back to New England.
Back to New England because reasons.
Yep, I agree with that. Cole Beasley.
Green Bay to replace Randall Cobb.
Going to New England.
Oh, Cole Beasley in Green Bay would be
That would be great.
amazing thing.
As a Cobb replacement. Yep.
Be a fantastic idea. Kelvin Benjamin.
Please retire.
Straight to the buffet line.
With Eddie Lacy.
We'll talk about Kelvin Benjamin when we get to tight ends.
I thought we're not talking about offensive linemen on this show.
John Brown.
I want to.
If they cut Deshaun Jackson in Tampa Bay, I've said before I want him to go back with
No,
Arians.
I want Justin Watson to have a chance.
Indianapolis.
I wouldn't mind Indy, though I'd prefer they get a bigger body receiver to go out opposite Ty.
Green Bay.
But they have enough where they could pay 2, so they could get Brown and someone else.
Pittsburgh.
Green Bay,
Pittsburgh, I wouldn't mind.
Pittsburgh would kill James Washington, so that would make you happy, Hopper.
Yeah, I'd be very happy with that. Des Bryant, does he play torn Achilles late in the season? My guess is he's done for the season.
Yeah, we're probably
he might be
waiting for
done for his
20 if
career.
he even comes back at all.
Yeah.
Randall Cobb.
Oof.
Finally gets to Oakland like he was going to get to last time.
With Jordy Nelson.
Yep.
Oh, my God.
John Gruden's master plan. He just has to find out how to get Aaron Rodgers. Or he's old and senile and confused, and he's actually
45 years old, Rodgers.
He's old, senile, and confused, and will draft Keyshawn Johnson.
Oh my-
It's the wrong Keyshawn Johnson.
Yes. Keyshawn.
Keyshawn. By the way,
With 2 E's.
for those of you listening to us, sneak peek for the wide receiver episodes, don't draft Keyshawn Johnson.
With 2 E's.
Yeah, with 2 E's. Michael Crabtree. Did we actually give any thoughts on where Randall Cobb goes?
I said Oakland.
Oh,
I was only being half facetious.
gotcha.
I don't really have a love landing spot for him.
I don't either. I think Carolina maybe is a complimentary piece
Well,
to,
they have
to
DJ Moore and Curtis Samuel. And Jarius Wright.
Yeah,
That's what
They need a
like
big
there.
guy now.
They
Because
need a big, fair.
There's a lot of them in the draft. Spoiler alert.
There are a lot of them in the draft.
There are a lot of them.
Detroit needs a replacement for Golden Tate.
Yeah.
yeah, Cobb to Detroit would be okay.
Michael Crabtree. Retirement home?
I would hope so, but he's going to sign somewhere.
And
Back
then he'll
to
probably drop the paper to sign it because he can't catch a fucking thing anymore.
Back to San Francisco. Kidding.
Retirement tour.
Arizona?
Yeah.
They like their old
Arizona-
receivers, apparently.
Him, Fitz, and Kirk would be an
Kirk.
okay trio.
Yeah, and he would kind of fit that offense. I mean, he played an air raid style in college.
Yeah, he was Oklahoma State.
I mean, any
Crabtree,
team.
he was Texas Tech.
Oh, Tech.
He
I'm
was
sorry.
Texas Tech.
Who's the one out of Oklahoma State then?
James Washington?
No, Justin Blackman.
Blackman. Thank
That's
you.
it. James Washington.
Oklahoma. Yes, Oklahoma State.
Another landing spot for Randall Cobb it would be Washington as a Crowder replacement.
Nope.
but
Yeah,
I
Trey
hate
Quinn.
If they don't trust Quinn.
that.
I'm keeping the fucking Trey Quinn train alive.
I hope you were right, honestly.
I know.
really
I
do.
own him in so
The-
many places.
You're going to be insufferable the one without Nick as a buffer. The 1 week Trey Quinn does good.
I mean, he was good last year when he played.
for all of 2 games.
For all, he scored that touchdown.
I don't hate Trey Quinn. I love Trey Quinn.
Yeah, I
Jamison
know.
Crowder, Green Bay.
Green Bay. I would love him in Green Bay
Yeah, I think either Beasley or Crowder ends up in Green Bay.
or Tampa. I mean, or not Tampa. Detroit.
Detroit's another great landing spot for him. Yes, Indianapolis.
I was going to say that
although
too. there.
Ty plays,
He plays outside. I think he plays outside and
he
inside.
does both. He moves around. What Crowder does too. So
Yeah.
that's okay. Philip Dorsett.
Don't care.
I don't care either.
Don't care.
Devin Funchess,
Another name I don't care about. Buffalo.
Arizona.
He's built like he's going to follow Kelvin Benjamin.
Buffalo wouldn't be awful. He would be a kind of the red zone threat of the 3.
He'd be Kelvin Benjamin.
Arizona.
Arizona would also be if similar to Crabtree, he'd be a good outside big guy.
Mhm.
I say Carolina, but
You think they resign him?
no.
No, there's no love lost there.
No.
Indianapolis also they need a. I mean, with the way
He'd-
T.Y. can move around, they need another.
He'd be
outside
intriguing
guy.
there because he made Dante Moncrief.
Yeah,
He's another bigger body.
he's a
receiver
better
with-
Dante Moncrief.
Yep.
He's a
Funchess is.
slower and less athletic, but he's better.
He's better as an actual receiver.
He
yeah.
is.
No, yeah, he is.
Chris Hogan.
Kind of.
I think he's back in New England.
Probably back in New England, and
That's
I'm
his only valuable spot.
I still have not forgiven him for
Fuck
letting me
Chris
down.
Hogan.
Wait, never mind. This is who I want in Green Bay. Adam Humphries.
Dallas.
Have you heard the price rumors on him? It's going to be like $8 million.
What?
See, it's better than Beasley's 15 to 20 he's asking for.
No, per year.
He wants
What,
8
on
mil per
Humphries?
year? He's not gonna
It's
get
not gonna
8
be
mil.
8 mil per year.
He'll be happy to get half of that.
All right, so it sounds like the type of player the Jets would overpay for. I'm looking at you, Eric Decker.
Twice.
Nah, I think for fit though, I think he'd be good in Green Bay. I think that Detroit is another one that has some cap room that could go ahead and sign him. New Orleans,
Basically, any team that needs a slot receiver.
any team that needs a slot receiver. That's
Yeah,
it.
New Orleans would actually be a really good one, but they don't have a lot
They
of
have
money.
Austin Carr.
Cam Meredith. Oh, don't forget about
Austin
Cam.
Carr.
Don't forget Cameron Meredith.
Yeah.
Rashard Matthews.
Ooh, that's right. He's still a thing.
He's over 30. He got real banged up. He doesn't seem to have it anymore. He may retire.
He doesn't want to play in Tennessee either, so
Dante-
don't know. Don't
Can't blame
care.
him.
Nope, don't either. Yeah.
Dante Moncrief.
Baltimore.
Just go die in Baltimore, please.
The Jets. He's the exact type of player. Cordero Patterson.
So who needs a returner?
Minnesota?
If he's cheap, I wouldn't hate it.
I mean, it'd be a nice story.
All right, next two are at least probably the most intriguing names
Yes.
in this class. Golden Tate.
New Orleans would
England,
be
I
ideal.
would love him in New England.
Edelman, though. That's the only problem for me is that
I know.
everybody wants these slot receivers to go to New England. Or are we just forgetting Julian Edelman exists?
I mean,
If
you're-
he's 33 years old.
if you're strictly
34.
looking at Tate's value, Green Bay would be ideal for him.
yeah,
that are going, back to Detroit.
Green Bay, Indy, back to Detroit. I think are probably your best three.
Indy would be awesome.
Pittsburgh though. I mean, Juju plays some slot, but you'd figure he'd be more relied on outside now.
They're gonna move him outside. They have to.
They have to.
without Brown
So
there.
you bring Golden Tate in to fill that role as a veteran.
We're
and
running
then you
about
let
Ryan Switzer.
James
The
Washington.
issue with Pittsburgh right now is if you're looking at anybody expensive, is they ate $21 million in dead cap when they traded Brown.
That's supposed to be the
also
worst
true.
in league history. The most amount of dead cap in 1 year.
Dallas makes sense, I think.
I mean, he torched them.
Chris Conley's gone. Kansas City could use a third wide receiver. They're kind of up against the cap, though.
I don't see them. Yeah, I don't see that spending that much.
But I
money
mean,
on
they've
one.
got their two outside guys. So,
True.
I mean, they're looking for a slot guy, but I think that they're probably more in the market for somebody cheaper.
Yeah, Crowder, Humphries.
You can
Crowder,
find one in the
Cobb,
draft too. You can still find one
Humphreys.
in the draft too.
Find one in the draft. Tyrell Williams.
Indy.
Indy's where I want him to
think
go.
I still think it's going to be.
He
Indy.
is a Moncrief type of player.
He is
but
getting a lot of tire kicking from the Browns, it sounds like.
We've just forgotten about Miami needing people.
Because no one wants to see these guys land in Miami.
That is the problem.
We're trying to will them out of existence. Shout out Ben.
In Washington makes some sense. Miami makes some sense. Baltimore makes some sense. If you're looking at teams that need somebody,
I
and
need
Tyrell
outside
Williams
speed.
wants to be a one someplace, he's said as much. Those are places he could go where he would have the opportunity to be the one.
I mean, he's got the size to be an outside number one.
I don't think he's a one.
I don't
he's
think
a
he
two.
has the route running ability to be a full-fledged top flight number one receiver, though.
Yeah.
He's still just a vertical threat who's big enough to play in the red zone.
I agree with that. All right, Demaryius Thomas. Does he play?
No.
No,
I don't think so.
I think
either.
I think he should just retire.
I think so too. All right, wrapping it up. This is a really short list. Tight ends. There are more tight end needy teams than there are tight ends worth talking about in free agency. Completely different story for the draft, though.
Yes.
Buffalo, Oakland, Detroit, Jacksonville, Cincinnati, all very, very wide open at the tight end spot. You've got three guys left. Jared Cook.
Cincy maybe.
Cincy if he doesn't go back to Oakland. Tyler Eifert.
Oakland is paying the shit out of him.
Nick putting it down.
It's probably
Oakland's paying the shit out of Tyler Eifert.
to go tear his back up and get it.
Houston.
No.
He's got the injury history to play in Houston right now.
What's the except they have like 4 tight ends
Exactly.
right now. But
nobody that jumps out.
I think Baltimore needs a tight end.
yeah, Tyler Eifert is the exact type of player that John Gruden would look at and be like, I need to give him a bunch of guaranteed money.
with no injury clauses.
You can go to Denver with the rest of the tight ends that can't stay healthy.
With Jake Butt.
Yeah. Hey, remember when Troy Fumagalli was supposed to be good?
With his 9 fingers.
Yeah, right.
Hey, you don't talk bad about Nine-Finger Godfather that way.
CJ Uzama.
Who's your mama?
He probably goes back to Cincy on a cheap deal.
I think that makes sense. But Tyler Croft, he's the only one that's left in Cincinnati.
They're so drafting a tight end.
Please, 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 please.
I could see Uzama
Please.
someplace that needs a backup type of player. So Washington, I guess, is more looking for an heir. Maybe Atlanta.
There's a lot of teams that need.
There's
Detroit.
There's 3 things I want. I want Fant to go to Buffalo. I want
Fair.
Hawkinson to go to Cincinnati.
Fair.
And then I want Detroit not to draft anybody that I like because they don't use tight ends properly.
Also fair.
I want Fant to go to New Orleans.
He's not going to fall that far.
I know, but we're not saying
I was
things.
I was doing the at least somewhat realistic possibilities.
I want.
Yeah, you never
I want
know.
Sternberger in New Orleans. If we're talking about people that might fall
That or Irv
far.
Smith.
Eh.
I know you don't like him as much, but
Irv Smith is disappointing. Irv Smith is going to be like a Jared Cook, less athletic. So we're talking Delaney Walker maybe
yeah,
type of player, which is
Yeah.
not bad.
I mean,
but
no.
Walker was more of a late bloomer. He had to learn some of the fundamentals of it first. And
Irv used to do.
Irv's route running. I mean, you saw it in his combine drills. Some of the adjustments and stuff like that just weren't quite there yet. Even though
He's young
I
too,
think
though.
he's athletic. He is young. He's a
He's
development piece.
Yeah,
I think he more needs to fit. Preview of our tight end episode.
he's more Mike Gesicki than he is Dallas Goedert.
I think he needs to fall into like a role that Ian Thomas fell into, or Jonnu Smith fell into. Jeremy Sprinkle's another guy that came to mind, getting picked up by Washington.
Yeah.
Pick him up behind an old guy and let him develop.
Either let him, flourish with the next team, or let him, just take over that role when said guy is done.
All right, that's all we've got for today. I hope you enjoyed this free agent episode where we talked a lot about some guys that mattered and too much about some guys that didn't. As always, just remember you can follow the show at BeerfieldFF, Twitter, Instagram, Untapped. Across the table from me, Dan Thury.
At 30 BFF with 2 Fs.
To my right, for the second to last time, be sure you don't miss next week's episode when it'll be the last ride, is a regular member of the podcast for Nick Sparks.
At Nick Sparts, my penultimate episode, and if we're recording when I think we're recording, I'm going to be real hungover
I'm
for
also
next
going to
week.
be real hungover.
I'm going to probably be fine.
By the way, on-show production meeting, are you going downtown at 7 a.m. again?
That's the plan. Not sure if I'll have Jen with me or not. She may be joining us later.
I'm going to be staying in town Friday night and Saturday night, so I will be shower beering in downtown for kegs and eggs, just like every year before.
Works for me.
I may try to make it out before I go to work.
We will be super hungover for the last episode, as it should be. Thanks for listening, guys. Make sure you leave those iTunes reviews, comments, questions, concerns. Follow us on Twitter at BeerfieldFF. I am your host for now and until the foreseeable future at HotBFF. We will catch you guys next time. Wait, that was weird.
That was weird.
Hey, can you guys, Nick, can you take us out, please?
We'll catch you guys next time on Beerfield Fantasy Football.
See ya. I just need to put that into the outro drop.
It will not be that difficult.